Good evening, doctor. My name is Tan Jie and my metric number is 299188. So now I would like to present the assignment that titled Factors Influencing Demand for Fast Food Among UUM Students. First, I would like to begin by providing some background to this study. So for the globally, fast food demand is rising due to the urbanization, busy lifestyle, and globalization. So the market is projected to grow from about 863.8 billion US dollar in 2025 to over 1.34 trillion US dollar by 2034. From a microeconomic perspective, demand is influenced by price, income, convenience, and time as consumer aims to maximize utility with limited resources. So in Malaysia, the fast food market is also expanding with a market size about 14.75 billion US dollar in 2025. This growth is driven by price sensitivity, promotional activities, and convenience, especially among urban youth. So, however, the most previous study focused on lifestyle and taste with limited application of economic theories such as price elasticity and income effect. So, the UM students are a suitable group for this study because they have limited income, face high time pressure, and also have a easy access to fast food on campus. So therefore, this study examines how price, income, and convenience influence fast food demand among UM students. Moving on to the problem statement, the fast food consumption among students is relatively high, with most undergrads eating fast food 1 to 2 times a week. Their choices are influenced by price, income, and convenience as students balance affordability, accessibility, and busy academic schedule. So this decision involves students trade-off between time, money, and health, reflecting macroeconomic principles. However, there are limited research examining how these factors affect fast food demand among UM students. This study therefore aims to integrate the economic theory with behavior factors to better understand the students' decision making. So this brings us to the research question and objective of this study. So the study focuses on the three main research questions. First, whether gender difference affect fast food demand factors. Second, whether student sources of financial support influence this factor. And third, whether income, price, and convenience significantly impact fast food demand. So the objective of the study align with this question and aim to provide a better understanding of student fast food consumption behavior. Next, I will briefly explain the significance and the scope of study. This study examines what drives fast food demand among UM students, focusing on income, price, and convenience. Fast food demand is treated as the dependent variable, and differences by gender are field of study analyzed using a closed-ended questionnaire. The study included the UM students both on and off campus, covering both genders. It looks at how income, price, and convenience affect the fast food frequency and type, with a focus on attitude and behavior rather than the health outcomes. So the overall goal is to understand students' motivation for consuming fast food. So the study has 5 chapters, which chapter 1 is introduce the research, chapter 2 reviews the literature and theory, chapter 3 explain methodology, and chapter 4 present the findings, and chapter 5 discusses result, policy implications, future research, and also conclusion. So now I'll move on to chapter 2, which is the literature review. So this chapter is review the main economic theories related to the law of demand and consumer behavior, as well as empirical study on the factors influencing fast food consumption among students. First, I will discuss the law of demand. The law of demand explains that when the price of fast food decreases, the UM students tend to buy more, and when the price increases, the demand will fall. This inverse relationship is shown by a downward sloping demand curve. So this occurs due to the substitution effect, where students switch from more expensive food to fast foods, and the income effect, where lower prices increase their purchasing power. So since the student has limited budget and busy schedule, fast food provides high utility, promotions, and discount further increase the demand, clearly demonstrating the law of demand on campus. Next, I will explain the theory of consumer behavior. This theory states that the consumer uses their limited income to maximize their satisfaction. So UM students behave rationally by choosing the food based on the convenience, taste, time, and also affordability. Fast food offers high utility because it is quick filling and also relatively cheap. So students are also constrained by their budgets. So when price or income changes, their food choices change, which in turn affects the fast food demand. Now I'll present the empirical findings based on the 3 main factors, which is price, income, and also convenience. For the price factor, past study shows a negative relationship with the fast food demand. When price increase, consumption falls, and when promotion are offered, consumption increase. Because students have limited income, so they are highly price sensitive. For the income factor, study shows a positive relationship with the fast food demand. Students with higher income tend to consume more fast food. Fast food is considered a normal good and sometimes a lifestyle choice, influenced by peer pressure and also promotions. For the convenience factor, research shows a strong positive effect on demand. Students prefer fast food because it is quick, accessible, and also suits their busy schedule. However, limited research has focused especially on convenience within the UM context. After that, I'll present the research hypothesis and also statistical test use. First, an independent sample test is used to examine whether the gender differences affect how price, income, and also convenience influence the fast food demand. Second, mobile underwrite is used to test whether students with different sources of financial support behave differently. And third, multi-regression analysis is applied to identify whether the price, income, and also convenience significantly influence the fast food demand. So together, this method allows us to compare the different groups and also determine the key drivers of fast food consumption among the UM students. I will now present the chapter 3, which covers the methodology of this study. This study uses a structured approach to examine the fast food demand among UUM students. First, the research framework is links our objective variables and also methods. Next, the data were collected using a questionnaire distributed to students. Finally, the data were analyzed using a dependency test and also unaware and also multi-regressions to answer our research question. Next, the research framework acts as a blueprint for the study, linking the objective research question and also variables and methods. Next is the research design. This study uses a quantitative design to examine how price, income, and convenience affect the fast food demand. Primary data was collected using a self-administered questionnaire among UUM students. So the questionnaire has 45 questions in 5 sections, which is demographic, price, income, convenience, and fast food demand. Section B to E uses a 5-point Likert scale to measure students' perceptions and behavior regarding fast food. In this study, there is one dependent variable, which is demand for fast food, and the 3 independent variables are price, income, and convenience. Each factor is measured using a 10 items to chapter the student's perception and behavior, allowing structured measurement of what drives fast food demand. So finally, data was collected online through social media platforms involving students from COB, CAS, and also colleges. Analysis was conducted using independent t-tests, one-way ANOVA, and multiple regression to determine how price, income, and convenience affect fast food demand. The regression model also shows the relative importance of each factors. In short, this chapter explains the methods used to study fast food demand, showing how students' perception of price, income, and convenience influence their choices. Next is chapter 4, which presents the data analysis and also findings. This chapter examines the factors influencing fast food demand among UUM students. The data were analyzed using SPSS with descriptive statistic, reliability test, t-test, ANOVA, and multiple regression to test the hypothesis and answer the research questions. Let's start with the demographic profile of our respondent. On the left, the age distribution shows that the most students, which is 83 or 55.3%, are aged 21 to 23 years. Other groups include 18 to 20 and 24 to 26 years with 28 students each, and 27 and above with 11 students. Age helps us to understand the students' stages of university life, which may influence their fast food habits. On the right, the gender distribution shows that 68 male students with 45.3% and 82 female students with 54.7%. Gender is important because we will later use it in an independent sample t-test to examine if male and female students differ in how price, income, or convenience affect their fast food demand. Next, most respondents are from the College of Business with 74 students, followed by 39 from the College of Arts and Science and 37 from the College of Law, Governments, and International Studies. This variety allows us to see if academic background influences the students' fast food behavior. In terms of year of study, Year 3 students form the largest group of 67 students, followed by Year 4 and above, Year 2 and Year 1. Year of study may be related to the lifestyle and spending habits, which can be considered in future comparisons. Finally, let's look at the financial background, which is crucial for fast food demand. For primary support, 66 students rely on PTPT and 39 students rely on parents or family, 17 from the part-time jobs, and 14 each from the MARA and also GPA. This variable is used later in a one-way ANOVA to examine how different financial support sources affect the price sensitivity, allowance, usage, and also perception of convenience. So for the monthly allowance, most students receive the 500 to 999 ringgit, which is 62 students, followed by 1,000 to 1,499 ringgit, 200 to 499 ringgit, and also 1,500 and above, and less than 200 ringgit, which is 15 students. So this shows that the students' spending ability and help us understand how income influences the fast food demand. So overall, these demographic factors, which is age, gender, faculty, year, financial support, and also allowance, not only describe the sample, but also guide the statistical tests, such as t-test and ANOVA, to see how the personal characteristics relate to the fast food demand. Next, I'll present the descriptive statistic of the main variables influencing fast food demand among UUM students. I analyzed responses from the 150 students for price, income, and convenience. The mean for price is 4.2180 and for income is 4.2620. So showing that the students generally agree these factors influence their fast food consumption. These standard deviations are low, indicating the consistent responses. The highest mean is for convenience is at 4.4007, with the lowest standard deviation showing that students strongly agree that easy access, fast services, and time saving are most important factors. So in summary, all these factors are significant, with convenience being the strongest influence on student fast food demand. This sets the stage for the later revision analysis to test which factors significantly affect the demand. Now let's look at the result of the independent sample t-test, which examine whether the male and female student differ in how price, income, and convenience influence their fast food consumption. So starting with the price factor, the t-test result is t equals to 1.123 with a p-value of 0.263, and this means that there is no significant difference between the male and female students. Both respond similarly to the price of fast food. So for the income factor or allowance, t10 shows that the t equals to 1.722 and the p equals to 0.087. So again, the difference is not significant, indicating that both genders are equally influenced by their allowance when deciding to purchase the fast food. So finally, for the convenience factor, the t10 shows that the t equals to 0.323 with p-value is equal to 0.747. This confirms that male and female students place similar importance on accessibility, speed, and time saving when choosing the fast food. So overall, all the p-values are above 0.05, meaning gender does not significantly influence how the price, income, and convenience affect the fast food demand among UUM students. So Levin tests confirm equal variances, so these results are reliable. Next, I examine how student primary sources of financial support influence fast food demand using one-way ANOVA. I compare students supported by VTPT and MARA, GPA, family, or part-time jobs to see if they differ in price, income, and convenience factors. For price, the result is significant, which F value is equal to 6.138 and P value is less than 0.001, showing that students with limited support are more price sensitive than those with stable support. So for income, it's also significant, which F value is equal to 9.217 and P value is less than 0.001, which students with higher allowance are more likely to spend on fast food. So for convenience, the difference is strongest, which F value is equal to 13.285 and P value is less than 0.001. Students with better financial support value accessibility, time saving, and fast service more. So in short, financial support strongly shapes how students perceive price, income, and convenience, influencing their fast food consumption behavior. Next is the multiple regression analysis. This analysis examines how price, income, and convenience jointly influence fast food demand among UUM students. Multiple regression using the ordinary least squares method was used to identify which factors significantly predict fast food demand and their relative strengths. So based on the regression's result, the estimated equations shows how each factors contribute to predicting fast food demand, holding other factors constant. So let's look at each factors. First, price has a coefficient of 0.156 with a p-value of 0.117, which is above 0.05. This means price does not significantly affect fast food demand. So second, income has a coefficient of 0.294 and a p-value of 0.005. This shows a significantly positive effect, which students with higher allowance consume more fast food. Third, convenience has the largest effect, which a coefficient of 0.431 and p-value below 0.001. So this means coefficient strongly and positively influences the fast food demand. In short, income and convenience are significantly predictors, while price is not. So the model has an R square of 0.591, meaning about 59.1% of the variation is in fast food demand is explained by these three factors. So the overall model is statistically significant with a p-value below 0.001. This means the model fits the data well, and income and convenience are the key drivers of fast food demand among UUM students. In summary, student fast food choices are driven mainly by convenience and financial ability rather than price, suggesting that fast services and accessibility are more important than price promotion. Now we move to chapter 5, which presents the discussions and conclusions. So this chapter summarizes the main findings, discusses implications, highlights the studies, limitations, and suggests future research and also conclude the studies. So the studies examines how price, income, and convenience influence the fast food demand among UM students using the data from 150 respondents. So the finding shows that the students' fast food choices are influenced by both economic and practical factors, which income affects spending ability, convenience affects stability and time saving, and price affects the affordability. Now, let's look at the role of gender. The independent sample t-test results show no significant differences between male and female students for price, income, and convenience. Both genders are equally sensitive to price influence similarly by their allowance and value convenience in the same way. Instead, lifestyle and time constraints are more important influences. So next, we examine the influence of students' primary financial support. The one-way ANOVA shows that students' primary sources of financial support significantly affects price, income, and convenience. Students with lower financial support are more price sensitive, while those with higher support consume more fast food and value convenience more. So this shows that financial support strongly shapes students' fast food consumption behavior. After that, now let's see at how price, income, and convenience influence the demand overall based on the multiple regression analysis. Price does not significantly affect demand likely because fast food is already affordable, while income and convenience strongly influence the fast food demand. Students with high allowance buy more fast food and convenience, like speed and accessibility, plays the biggest roles. So next, these findings have several practical implications. Fast food operators can focus on speed, accessibility, and self-ordering system, and UUM can improve the food ability and promote healthier options, and students should manage their spending wisely. Policymakers can also support access to convenient and healthy food on campus. Together, these steps can help students make better food choices. So of course, every study has limitations. So these studies just only involve UUM students, use online cross-sectional data and focus on these three factors only. So other influences like taste, peer influence, and health awareness were not examined. So these limitations open up opportunities for the future research. For future research, additional factors like taste, brand, peers' lifestyle, health, and social media should be included to better understand students' fast food choices. Expanding the sample to other universities can make the findings more generalizable. Using interviews, focus group, or longitudinal studies can also provide deeper insights and track changes over time. So, in conclusions, this study finds that income and convenience are the main factors influencing fast food demand among UUM students, while price has little effect. Students' choices are mainly driven by their financial ability and the need to save time. So these findings can help university and food providers plan better strategies and guide future research on students' eating behavior. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for watching.